Crypto fam, what's poppin'? Holla at your boy in the live chat. We got lots to cover in today's show. Bitcoin liquidations vanish as trader hopes that 30,000 will hit before this dip. And quoting Max Kaiser, Bitcoin is the bank killer. Banks are getting very nervous. And more breaking news, U.S. banks are borrowing at unprecedented rates to cover withdrawals and losses, as well as the Fed rejected Custodia's bank request to join the Fed system because of its focus on Bitcoin. We'll also be discussing a German super bank to offer Bitcoin trading to 1,200 affiliated banks on this new platform, as well as $12 billion asset manager says investors are flocking to the King crypto amid this global banking fallout. We'll also be discussing the latest with Terraform Labs CEO Kwon, who is facing extradition in South Korea. He was just arrested, in fact, just yesterday. Also be discussing Bitcoin exploding by over 3,400%, hitting $1 million per coin, according to the BitMEX founder, Arthur Hayes. I'll be breaking down why this is. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin can easily rip by over 140%, returning to its all-time high amid this banking crisis, according to the Tether CTO. I'll be breaking down his timeline. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more, in today's show. And today's episode is brought to you by the top crypto exchange in the world, which is Binance. I personally prefer them because they offer zero trading fees on Bitcoin and Ethereum-related pairs, truly making it a no-brainer. And if you use my referral link in the description below, you can claim your bonus of up to $600. And if you're a Binance US user, be sure to use the Binance US link, which also has an exclusive offer as well. And let's get this crypto, shall we? Welcome everyone just tuning in. This is podcast episode number 1231. I am your host, JV. Happy Saturday, March 25th, 2023. Checking out the market, which you can see right here on your screen. We got Bitcoin and some of the major cryptos pulling back, but Bitcoin down 1% for the day, but maintaining above 27,600. Ether down 0.5%, maintaining above $1,700. One of the top gainers is XRP, up 7%, now trading above 45 cents. And BNB also barely in the green. And checking out coinmarketcap.com, we got the crypto market cap sitting above 1.1 trillion with 38.5 billion in volume in the past 24 hours. Bitcoin dominance back on the decline actually at 46.3%, and the Ether dominance at 18.6%. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers in the past 24 hours, Flare leading the pack up 10%, trading at 3.6 cents, followed by XRP up 7.5%, trading just under 46 cents, followed by Nexo up almost 6%, trading just under 75 cents. And below that we have Monero and Stellar Lumens. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers for the past week, we have a mixture of red and green, with a handful in the green, including Flare up 10%, XRP up 7.8%, but I would say probably the majority are in the red. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, one of my favorite indicators, shows we're currently rated a 64 in greed. Yesterday was a 61, last week a 64, and last month a 56, all of which is within greed. So there you have it. How many of you are currently bullish on the King crypto? Holla at your boy. And now let's break down some technical analysis and check out the charts on what's popping in the crypto ecosystem. Bitcoin drifted lower March 25th as eerily calm conditions saw liquidations evaporate, which we can see here in the Bitcoin 1 hour candle chart. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView followed Bitcoin as it focused on 27,500, and after losing 28,000 the day prior, weekend trading offered little ways of its usual volatility as traders hope for a break before the resumption of TradeFi markets. And quoting Dan Crypto Trades, looking like a slow chop around the CME close price so far. Not expecting too much to happen with Bitcoin during the weekend after last week's volatility. Now, Dan Crypto Trades referred to the closing price of the CME Group Bitcoin futures market, a level which can become significant in the event that volatility up or down appears before the start of the new week. This would have the effect of producing a gap in the futures market, open and close prices, creating a potential target for the spot Bitcoin price. And an additional post delineated areas of the order book liquidity, which could also act as support and resistance. The flip levels, quoting him again here, these Bitcoin charts can look messy, but it can be useful to mark out the potential liquidity areas where stop losses may be positioned. Breaking these levels can cause a little cascade into that next area. We saw that on the way down already. So there you have it. And fellow trader Crypto Tony had the following to share. One more push up on the declining volume up to the 30,000 mark, please. I do expect a solid rejection from this area with all the stuff going on. Blasting through with one test just seems very unlikely. Now let's discuss liquidations to disappear. Liquidation data showed the extent of the reduction in volatility on the shorter time frames, with short and long liquidations for March 25th totaling less than $5 million. And by contrast, March 22nd saw Bitcoin liquidate over $120 million in positions, according to statistics from CoinGlass, which you can see here. And quoting Decent Trader, pretty simple. Bitcoin long-short ratio kept going up, but the price kept going down. So there you have it. Let me know if you guys are pretty bullish right now, or do you think we're likely to see a continued pullback? And quoting the the great Max Geyser, Bitcoin is the bank killer. Banks are getting very nervous. And lo and behold, this is no lie. As we can see very clearly in this chart, the small US banks are borrowing at unprecedented rates to cover withdrawals and losses, which is causing these bank runs and banks to continue to collapse. And as pointed out here, the Fed rejected Custodia Bank's request to join the Fed because of its focus on Bitcoin, as outlined right here, which is highlighted. Here you go, offering products and services related to the crypto asset sector. So obviously there is a war on crypto right now, and you're seeing that play out firsthand. And now let's dive into our next big breaking story of the day, and that is Bitcoin being introduced to over 1,200 banks. That's right. This is pretty phenomenal, to say the least. Check it out. If I'm pronouncing it right, Deutsche Wertpapierservice Bank, I'm just going to call it DWP Bank, which offers securities processing to around 1,200 banks in Germany, is creating a new platform called WPNext that will offer Bitcoin to all of its affiliates, retail customers in the second half of this year. Let's freaking go. Mass adoption. Bring it. The new service will feature crypto accounts alongside bank customers' other accounts and will not require additional Know Your Customer procedures, according to the local media reports. Wallet as a service provider, Tangany and Bankhaus Scheiss Tridias digital asset trading service will also participate in the new offering. Retail customers will not hold private keys. WP Bank CEO Heiko Beck said the bank planned to add other cryptos, digital assets, and tokenized securities to the service in the future. But we got to point out, not your keys, not your cheese. So the bank would be holding your keys, just FYI. Now, MLB Banking was the first WP Bank affiliate to sign on to the platform and has already performed a transaction on it. Now, MLP's banking account and securities processing head, Paul Utzat, said in a statement, in our MLP customer portal, it is a logical addition to the existing wealth management offering. Now, crypto accounts are linked to Euro Cash accounts, so transactions can take place without going through a separate payments account. Germany has been named one of the world's most favorable countries for crypto. DZ Bank, we're referring to Deutsche, I believe, announced in February that it was adding crypto assets to its asset management service, and DZ Bank is Germany's, this is a different one. DZ Bank is Germany's second largest bank by assets and a central institution for a network of bank co-ops with 8,500 different branches. So this is, again, pretty big. German crypto bank Nuri, however, shut down in November under stress of the crypto bear market. It had 500,000 customers. And on traditional financial side, Deutsche Bank, I guess that's what we're referring to here, shares plummeted on March 24th as instability spread amongst European banks, as predicted by Max Kaiser. Now, also, Deutsche Bank Asset Manager Division, DWS, was reportedly in talks with Tradius on investments in the service. So there you have it. You can see here in the United States, banks are being cut left and right. They're collapsing, while in Germany and other countries of the world, they're embracing cryptocurrency, these banks. It just goes to show you that the SEC and the regulators of the United States want nothing to do with crypto because crypto, or Bitcoin, is its biggest nightmare. You know what I mean? It's in direct competition with what they're trying to do with their CBDCs, obviously. So Bitcoin being the antidote to all of that. Now let's break down our next story of the day and discuss as asset managers are flocking to Bitcoin amid this global banking crisis. The CEO of the $12 billion financial advisory firm DeVere Group, Nigel Green, says investors are seeking alternatives like Bitcoin and crypto as the U.S. enters a new era of quantitative easing as money printers continue to go In a blog post, Green says that U.S. Treasury's actions, referring to Janet Yellen, after the fall of Silicon Valley Bank represent a new wave of money printing and financial stimulus that has investors looking at ways to preserve their capital. Green highlights the Bitcoin's scarce supply of 21 million coins as one of the key features that makes it appealing in the current economic environment. Quoting him here, Bitcoin surged in price following the recent collapse of Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank, with the banking crisis acting as a springboard event for the world's largest crypto as global investors seek safe haven alternative currencies. So in essence, the SVB rescue package and a new form of quantitative easing, this increases the dollar supply in circulation, which can lead to a fall in the value of the greenback compared to other currencies, as the increased supply can diminish its purchasing power. And consequently, this drives investors to seek alternatives such as Bitcoin, which obviously has a limited supply. And according to Green, the global banking crisis poses a major threat to financial stability and represents a historic moment for the flagship crypto. Quoting him again, due to the imminent financial stability risks, we are now forecast that the Fed will pause its aggressive rate hiking agenda, which is bullish for Bitcoin. Reduced interest rates makes borrowing cheaper, which can lead to a hike in spending and investment, as well as higher demand for Bitcoin as investors seek alternatives with the potential for higher returns. Indeed, the fallout from this latest banking crisis seems to serve as a launching point for a larger objective for the world's largest crypto. It is a historical springboard event. You can say that again. And now let's break down our next big story of the day. If you missed it, Kwon was finally arrested, and he apparently had fake documentation on him. So here's how it all went down. Terraform's lab co-founder, CEO Kwon, also known as Kwon Huang, was arrested on Thursday in Montenegro, a mountainous country located in southeastern Europe on the Balkan Peninsula. The news was first disclosed March 23rd by Montenegro's Interior Minister, Filip Adzik, who explained that Kwon had been apprehended at the Podgorica airport bearing phony identification and documents. Here's an actual photo of him being arrested. And according to the report published by the AFP on Friday, Kwon is now being charged with forgery in this country. Kwon was also traveling with an unknown companion who has also been taken into custody. A criminal complaint was filed against both persons for a criminal offense of document forgery, as the police detailed. And in addition to forgery charges, prosecutors want to detain Kwon for 30 days as he ostensibly denied his identification documents were forged. So there you have it. And further, a spokesperson for the Seoul Southern District Prosecutor's Office in South Korea told AFP that the government would like to see Kwon extradited back to South Korea. South Korea prosecutors will take steps in doing this. We are working on the process, the spokeswoman explained. Kwon also faces a number of lawsuits, obviously, in the United States, including a recent lawsuit that was initiated by the U.S. SEC. Now, their police noted that Kwon and his companion had falsified travel documents that derived from Costa Rica, and the duo was looking to fly out to Dubai. Now, it's interesting, right? The police also said that upon a luggage inspection, there were also travel documents from South Korea and Belgium, and also Montenegro's interior minister said that Kwon's Belgium identification was also forged documents. The name of Kwon's traveling companion has not yet been disclosed. So there you have it. I mean, it took them literally over a year to find this guy, and it's about time. Obviously, there are some serious charges and billions of dollars of investors' money lost from Kwon's projects. So how do you think this will play out for him? Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. And with that being shared, now let's dive into this $1 million Bitcoin price prediction from the ex-BitMEX founder, Arthur Hayes, and then we'll dive into a very realistic $69,000 all-time high returning as per the Tether Chief Technology Officer's prediction. So here, let's start with this $1 million prediction from Arthur Hayes. The BitMEX founder and crypto veteran Arthur Hayes is predicting an explosive rally which will drive the Bitcoin price to $1 million per coin. Send it. Hayes tells his 368,000 Twitter followers the Bitcoin will see more than 3,400% gains from its current value of 28,000 due to the changes in the Federal Reserve's monetary policy. He is predicting that the U.S. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell will have to start lowering interest rates after steep hikes to draw down the inflation in order to counter recessionary concerns. Hayes also says that rate cutting will act as the catalyst to send the Bitcoin price soaring. Bitcoin's price has generally done well when more liquidity enters enters the market. Quoting him again, the faster Powell hikes, the faster he will have to cut. I will be buying all the dips in Bitcoin. Thank you, sir, for more entry points. Bitcoin equals $1 million. And then he says bank term funding program equals yield curve control. Hayes has said that the Bank Term Funding Program, which the Fed announced this month to provide liquidity to struggling U.S. banks, is another injection of liquidity into the markets that will help to drive the Bitcoin price higher. Send it. Let's freaking go. He believes that BTFP is similar to the injection of stimulus funding that the Fed put out during the COVID pandemic, during which Bitcoin hit an all-time high of 69 G's, baby. He predicts that the Fed will also engage in yield curve control, a type of monetary policy in which the government buys bonds to cap long interest rates at a specific target. Quoting him again, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen starts off very slowly on the road to yield curve control. Welcome to the start of financial repression. You can either be a sucker or a saint. As far as your capital is concerned, treat your capital well and it will treat you well. Bitcoin equals $1 million. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Arthur Hayes. Hayes made a similar prediction for Bitcoin in reaction to the recent changes in monetary policy in China, with the People's Bank of China reducing the reserve ratio requirement by 0.25%. He says he believes China's move is a sign that the infusion of capital is coming into the markets. The RRR is the amount of reserves that a commercial bank must maintain as a percentage of their deposits. And when it's lower, the amount of commercial banks can lend or invest rises. So there you have it. Again, let me know if you agree or disagree that with that $1 million price prediction, which is in alignment with the former Coinbase chief technology officer who recently went out on a limb to predict $1 million by June 17th, referring to Balaji. So let me know if you feel these predictions are likely to take place. And now let's dive into our final story of the day before we dive into some live Q&A, giving everyone the opportunity to get their comments read out loud. And I'll do my best to answer all questions. But yeah, let's break down this 140% Bitcoin surge. Tether's chief technology officer, CTO, Paolo, is expressing bullish sentiment on the King crypto as Bitcoin asset sits below $30,000. He says in a new CNBC interview that Bitcoin could easily retest its all-time high of slightly above 69,000, which we reached in November of 2021. Quoting him here, I am bullish. Given all of what I said in terms of geopolitical uncertainty, I am bullish on Bitcoin. I think that it can easily retest the all-time high levels around $60,000 plus. Bitcoin, which is currently trading at around 27,000 at the time of this recording, would have to jump by around 145% to reclaim that record high. And according to the Tether CTO, the prevailing banking crisis is making a strong case for the adoption of the King crypto. Quoting him again, Bitcoin is, in this moment, I think, decoupling from the traditional financial markets. I think that given the geopolitical situation we are in, the banking industry situation we are in, I think people are getting scared. So when there are bank runs around the world, I think Bitcoin is the only asset that you can really hold for yourself. You can hold it on your hardware wallet, and it's a hedge against everything that could happen or already happened in the past months and could happen in the future. Now, despite being bullish on Bitcoin, he says he is doubtful of Bitcoin reaching $1 million in under 90 days, as the former Coinbase CTO, Balaji, wagered last week. In regards to this, quoting him here, I know that there is a bet on Bitcoin that it can reach $1 million in 90 days. I'm kind of skeptical about that because honestly, I wouldn't even hope for that, because if Bitcoin would reach such a high price level, it would mean that the entire economy will crumble, and I am not sure it is the world that we want to live in. So there you have it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the Tether CTO. And also, to watch this video he did entitled Tether CTO says Bitcoin can retest all-time highs this year, check the show notes below the video in the description. And with that being shared, folks, now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Let's dive into some live Q&A. I appreciate each and every one of you tuned in the live chat. As always, Steve Kingston, welcome. Ellen, welcome. Selling with Twins, welcome. William O'Leary, Coinfather, C Art, good to see y'all. Merc30 in the building, always a pleasure, family. We got SpongeBob SquarePants, we got Lazarus Hand, good to see y'all. Megadon in the building, good to see you as well. Johnny Midas, it's been a minute, good to see you back, family, always a pleasure. And yeah, we got a lot of comments in the building, so I'm going to start right here. SpongeBob says all indicators are pointing to $70,000 in 6 to 18 months. It does seem this way, and I hope you are right. I hope these indicators are right, as I would love to see a new all-time high for the King crypto within the next 6 to 18 months. I feel it is inevitable and only a matter of time. L the second says, what up? First time in the chat, but I've been listening to JV since episode 300-ish. Keep up the good work, bro. I appreciate that, family. I appreciate you tuning in. Just curious, have you been a long-term listener via the podcast, iTunes, Spotify, or via the YouTube channel? Let me know, and appreciate that very much. Squid Hammer says, good morning, y'all. Thanks for checking out the music videos on YouTube and leaving good comments. Well, much respect. Got to shovel 6 inches of snow. I want Bitcoin at 30,000 when I get back in, while I'm praying that Bitcoin surpasses and smashes 30,000 like it ain't no thing, like we all know will eventually happen. Ellen says, good morning, JV. Another day in digital dankness. Hope all is well. Appreciate you tuning in as well, dankness. Always a pleasure. She says it is snowing, and I am concerned about Robin, who comes every year. She's here, and it's not even the spring. And yes, I am always working on my tan here in Puerto Rico. I was actually, before I went live, playing soccer in the backyard with my daughter. And typically when I play basketball, I try to get some sun. As we all know, vitamin D3 is extremely important for our health, to help protect us and boost our immune system. Statwise Jenks in the building, just made it. Have a good show, everyone. Appreciate that. Always appreciate your continued support. Crypto for Cardano, is good to see you, family. Stanley says 5 more days and I'm off work for 3 months. Can't wait. Time with the twins. I can't wait for you as well. There's nothing more important than family time, and also, you get a chance to relax. You deserve it. Tap that like button and show support for free. Follow the links below for his Telegram and subscribe for the best daily crypto news, says Digital Dankness. Greatly appreciate that. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the bell icon to turn on all notifications, as it helps out tremendously. And I greatly appreciate everyone's support. Super bullish on Bitcoin, says Ellen. Same here, especially with these bank runs occurring in real time. Peter Davies says, I just joined, replying to 69,000. Sounds like a triple top. Hope not. Bound to be some rejection for sure. Well, hey, it is what it is. Bitcoin's going to do what it do. At the end of the day, where is the whiskey emoji? Megadon is asking, sailing, right? Ellen says, Mark Yusko said, add another 0 after every halving, so that would be $690,000. Love it. Works for me. If we don't hit $1 million by June 17th, I'm okay. I'm not complaining. It's just a matter of time, family. Greetings from Palm Desert, California, everyone. Appreciate that, Johnny Midas. Always a pleasure, family. Steve Kingston says, almost everything out of the bank, holding cash and the rest in crypto. Very well done. Only keep in the bank what you're willing to lose, especially considering that the FDIC only has roughly like 200 billion, and there's trillions of debt from these banks, virtually meaning if there was a bank run, if even 2% of the population wanted to pull all their money out of the bank, especially in the United States, there's not enough money to secure that. So obviously you can lose what you have in the banks. So is it worth that 0.001% interest? Probably not. Just saying. But let me know your guys' thoughts. Also, the U.S. Treasury is out of silver. Really? Silver shortage. Interesting. Merc30 says, spread the word to friends and family to buy, or miss out on the lows. Some lows we'll never see again. Facts. Diamond hands. I appreciate you sharing that, Merc30. That's good for you and your silver, Ellen. It does sound good for those. I agree, Steve K. I don't own a lot, but enough if I needed to use it. Merc says, my older family is starting to listen. Don't let up. My dad is 79 and says bye. Much respect, family. I have an uncle who's 70 years old. He's a Bitcoin hodler, and he was thanking me the other day when we spoke, said thank you for introducing me to Bitcoin. I introduced him to Bitcoin in 2017. It took him a while to come around, but he eventually did, and he is sitting pretty, and he is so grateful. So don't keep this a secret. Tell your friends and family. Even if they think you're crazy, eventually they will come around. You know what I mean? I ran into a lot of people about crypto at Home Depot. An older lady said her grandson helped her buy. I said it was great. How fantastic is that? So cool to see adoption happening for baby boomers and all generations, not just the younger generation, Generation X. You know what I mean? Getting half a foot or so of snow here overnight. Well, stay warm there, Steve. Right tools for the job sailing, just like squidding. Michael says, I am glad my father moved to Arizona. I have not shoveled snow since I was 13. I'm grateful to say I never shoveled snow in my life, but when I was a youngin', I was born in Long Island, New York. I remember playing in the snow. I remember sledding in the snow. I remember the snowsuits, doing snow angels, building igloos, all the fun stuff. But grateful I never had to shovel snow either, as we moved from Florida, or from from New York to eventually California, and then from California to Florida, in which I think from about 4th grade I was raised in Florida. Plenty of sunshine, so never had to worry about snow ever again. Yeah, I mean, but as a kid, isn't snow fun? It's like the funnest thing in the world. Snowball fights, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah, sir, 10,000 isn't happening until later this year. From my analysis as CoinFather, I believe we're going to 15 to 12,000 in the next 3 months. So there you have a bearish prediction coming from CoinFather. 140% plus in what time frame? Well, he's ultimately saying he feels it is going to retest that sometime soon, but he doesn't give an exact date, so we don't know what he is referring to. He just says it is very likely for Bitcoin to retest that all-time high of 69,000, which would be 140% surge. Actually, more than 140%, be closer to 145% if you run the math. Bitcoin is going higher. There is going to be a huge scare, says Ellen. I agree there, 100%. Yeah, I agree 100%. Not only that, but Bitcoiners' lives will be at risk if Bitcoin went to a nil so fast. Probably right. But regardless of the price action, just dollar cost average and you can't lose, reminds us, CoinFather, exactly. It's going to be virtually impossible for an ordinary investor to catch the low. That's why we dollar cost average and we hedge our bet because we don't know when that low is going to be. So if you just continuously dollar cost average, as Michael Saylor, Nayib Bukele, and many of the greats have been advising us to do, and they don't just preach that, but that's what they do themselves, I think you'll be sitting pretty over the long term. Every 4 to 5 year horizon for Bitcoin, we're up. So anyone who has been in this game as a hodler of Bitcoin for the past 4 to 5 years, your stash is worth more than when you originally acquired it. And if you dollar cost average, it's just a safe way to go about doing so. Not investment advice, but that's what makes the most logical sense to me. And I'm just sharing that insights with y'all. But of course, you got to make your own decisions and do what's best for you and your family, of course. You all can't decouple from food, water, transportation, light, heat, repairs, and gas, says Seer Art. Alt season coming soon, says Steve Kingston. Wait until the stock market, derivative bond markets will all blow up at the same time, says Ellen. Bring facts, crazy tornadoes ripped through MS last night. Hope you're staying safe there, fam. Asked as many family get off the grid. Word up. Several towns leveled. Oh, hate to see that. Even hear about it. Larry Padro says, thanks from Bayamon, Puerto Rico. I'm in Bayamon as well. So much love and much respect to my Puerto Rican fam right here, Larry. That's what's up. It's a hard time to forget, says Steve. Michael says, JV, glad that you're getting time with your daughter. Greatly appreciate that, Michael. Means the world to me, obviously. Victor says, what's man's long time? Glad to see y'all doing. Let's get this crypto. Appreciate your support, Victor. Appreciate you tuning in live always as well. I saw the town leveled last night. Bring facts, says Ellen. Yikes. Stay safe out there, fam. I like that number, 690,000, says Megadon. It does sound pretty awesome to me as well. Squid Hammer, JV, you ought to be super proud and hopeful for your brand and channel. Great work. Your following can only grow in tandem with the crypto adoption. Greatly appreciate that. Probably a couple of years ago, my YouTube channel hit its peak. And it's been kind of slow doing its thing, but it seems like it's in alignment with the cycles as well. We have to keep in mind. Obviously, when I created this channel years ago, I had no subscribers, and it was a very slow grind. And then when the crypto boom came in 2021 and we hit all-time highs, my subscribers went through the roof. I went from 10,000 to 20,000 to 30,000 to 40,000 to 50,000, just like that. And now we've kind of just been we've been correcting and trading sideways. The channel kind of reflects, but I think once we see the next boom, oh, it's on, game on. And that hasn't stopped the growth of obviously of Twitter, on Telegram, as well as the podcast. The podcast is receiving over 400,000 downloads per month and has been pretty steady as well. So I'm super appreciative of the brand that I have built, but I know this thing is just getting started. I would not be surprised if I have 100,000 subscribers by the time the Bitcoin price hits that 6-figure mark. But we shall see how it plays out. But I do appreciate everyone's support. The banks are all insolvent, says Ellen. Facts. Ain't telling no lies. Don't believe anything Secretary Janet Yellen shares with you because she's a habitual liar because she works for a bunch of liars. I need Bitcoin to be at 1 million, then I can move, says Ellen. Does it have to be that high for you to move? What if you hit 800,000? You're not able to move out of New York? Come on now. Did Mississippi pass the 0% capital gains tax yet? Well, and I shared breaking news just the other day of Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador and leader of the free world. He was announcing massive tax cuts, like 0% taxes for technology firms to come on board. So they're ushering mass adoption into the country, which is a great sign as the Bitcoin game theory continues in full effect. You know what I mean? I'm putting it out there, says Ellen, word up. I mean, I'm praying for that $1 million Bitcoin price for all of our sakes. Hodl the Bitcoin pump and dump the alts, says Steve Kingston. And with that being shared, fam, here's the big finish, which is a recap of what I shared with you here. In today's show, I broke down the latest technical analysis as Bitcoin liquidations vanish, as trader hopes that 30,000 will hit before the dip. I also shared that Max says that Bitcoin is the bank killer, and banks are getting very nervous, as they should be, especially with all the bank runs going on in the United States in real time, and also now in the EU, and also German Superbank to offer Bitcoin trading to 1,200 affiliate banks on their new platform. We also discussed $12 billion asset manager says that investors are flocking to Bitcoin and crypto amid this global banking fallout. I also shared the latest regarding Terraform Labs CEO Do Kwon facing extradition in South Korea and being arrested on having fake documents, as well as we discussed Bitcoin exploding by over 3,400%, hitting $1 million per coin, according to the BitMEX founder, Arthur Hayes. And we also discussed a very optimistic prediction of Bitcoin returning to its all-time high, ripping by over 140% amid this banking crisis, says the Tether CTO. And I shared his timeline. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments below, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show.